From big cats to mystical unicorns, here are 5 of the rarest animals on Earth. Number 5. Amur Leopard. A cat's meow is one of the most recognizable sounds in the world. You can hear them from Maine to Florida, and in many places in between. But if you happen to visit the Russian Far East or parts of China, you might hear a different meow, one that belongs to the extremely rare Amur leopard. Once widespread across eastern Russia and northeast China, today fewer than 100 individuals remain in the wild. And with such low numbers, these leopards have had to band together and make the best of their dwindling numbers. In fact, since they are so close to extinction, the remaining population has been forced to inbreed. That means most of these leopards are related to each other in some way. While this is a problem in most species, it hasn't seemed to affect the overall health of the Amur leopard gene pool. But other problems like poaching, habitat destruction, and inbreeding could be enough to wipe out this already tiny population. No. 4. Vaquita. Did you know that there are hundreds of species of dolphins? There's the killer whale, the bottlenose dolphin, and even the pink dolphin, but few are as unique as the vaquita. This small marine mammal is the world's rarest, with fewer than 10 thought to be alive today. And that's not surprising when you consider how little we know about them. The vaquita is only found in the northern Gulf of California in Mexico. They live there year-round, feasting on fish like sardines and anchovies. And while they spend most of their time in the water, they occasionally surface to breathe. It's at this point that scientists can spot them and count the number of vaquitas in the area. Since 2017, the species has been declared extinct in the wild. This means that all living vaquitas are in captivity. Even so, they face a grim future. Most of the remaining vaquitas were captured in illegal fishing nets, which is why they have such few natural enemies. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that they're safe. In fact, the opposite is true. Because the vaquita is so elusive, fishermen often catch them accidentally. It's estimated that as many as 300 vaquitas get trapped in illegal gill nets every year. Number 3. Javan Rhino. When you picture a rhino, you might think of the gray rhino. These are the most common of all rhino species, with more than 60,000 living in Africa today. But back in Asia, a different rhino makes its home. The Javan rhino is one of the rarest large mammals on Earth, with only about 80 individuals surviving today. And all of them can be found in a single location, Ujung Kulon National Park in Indonesia. This protected area spans more than 325 square miles, but most of it is underwater. That means that rhinos have very little dry land to call their own. But what they lack in space, they make up for in size. Javan rhinos are huge, standing more than 5 feet tall and weighing over 3 tons. With a head like a Volkswagen Beetle and a body like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, they are truly a sight to behold. But this makes them a bit of a medical marvel. Rhinos don't sweat or pant to cool off. Instead, they rely on wallowing and spraying water on themselves. So when they get sick, it's harder for them to regulate their temperature. That's why most Javan rhinos die from disease rather than poaching or natural disasters. And unfortunately, these rhinos have suffered their share of both. Between 2010 and 2014, 4 rhinos were poached in the park. And in 2018, a tsunami wiped out an estimated 15% of the population. That left only 68 Javan rhinos alive. And because they're all related, they're now suffering from inbreeding. Inbreeding can cause birth defects, behavioral abnormalities, and a weakened immune system. All of this makes the Javan rhino even more vulnerable to extinction. And now for No. 2, but first wanted to give a big shout out to some special supporters. Thanks so much for watching and supporting the channel. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe for more amazing animal videos. No. 2. Northern bald ibis. Whenever you see a flock of birds flying in formation, they're probably geese or ducks. That's because most migratory birds travel in groups. That makes it easier for them to fly long distances without being attacked by predators. It also gives them a better chance of finding food when they arrive at their destination. But there is one bird that travels alone, the northern bald ibis. This critically endangered bird can be found in 2 places, Morocco and Syria. Both populations are extremely fragmented, meaning that no 2 ibises can find each other and mate. Over the last century, The Syrian population has disappeared completely, leaving only a few hundred birds in Morocco. But there is one place where the northern bald ibis still thrives, and that's in zoos. In fact, several European zoos have breeding programs in place to increase the global population of this endangered species. One of the biggest threats facing the ibis is habitat degradation. As more trees are cut down in Morocco, the ibis loses its home. It also loses its source of food. The ibis primarily eats the berries and sap of the argan tree. Without these trees, they are forced to search for other sources of nutrition. And that leaves them vulnerable to being hunted by predators like feral dogs and stray cats. Many ibises never make it to adulthood, which is why there are so few in the wild today. 1. Saola. There are a lot of strange creatures that live in the jungles of Southeast Asia, but few are as mysterious as the Saola. This extremely rare animal is also known as the Asian unicorn, and it gets that name from its long, slender upper lip, which is perfect for browsing through thick underbrush. But unlike the mythical unicorn, the Saola is neither horse nor goat. Instead, it is more closely related to the water buffalo. Only a few hundred Saolans may remain in the wild, making it one of the rarest mammals on Earth. And because it is so elusive, not much is known about its behavior. Most of the Saolans have been spotted in Laos and Vietnam, but even there, they are rarely seen. Since the 1990s, only 60 individuals have been recorded. The Saola is perfectly adapted to its environment. Its reddish-brown fur helps camouflage it in the tall grasses, and its white belly helps hide its outline from predators. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop poachers from hunting them. In fact, it seems that the Saola's greatest enemy is the snare. Traps set to catch other animals often ensnare the Saola instead. Once they are caught, they are either killed by the trap or by poachers who want to sell their body parts. With such a grim fate, it's hard to say how many Saolas are left in the world. But one thing is for sure, if we don't do something to protect them, they will become yet another endangered species. If you want to learn more about endangered species, stay tuned for more information. But first, check out this video about ocean creatures that don't belong in the ocean, or watch this video instead.